Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're completely dismantling everything you thought you knew about making extra money. Back in 2019, driving for Uber or jumping on a quick delivery app seemed like the absolute perfect way to set your own hours and turn dead time into cash. But honestly, that landscape has totally transformed, and the old playbook is just broken. Now, quick disclaimer before we get going. This explainer is strictly for educational purposes. Income is always going to vary by skill, effort, and your specific market, so there are no guarantees here. But if you're looking for the honest, no-nonsense 2026 playbook for supplemental income, you are in exactly the right place. Let's get started.
Look, between 2020 and 2024, the math just broke down. We saw wage growth hit around 18%, which, hey, sounds pretty great on paper, right? But wait. Inflation spiked by 21% over that exact same window. It is a brutal financial squeeze. The math simply doesn't work on a single income for most households anymore. In fact, a staggering 72% of Americans are currently relying on at least one secondary income source just to make the math work today. We all need the extra income for sure, but as you'll see in a minute, exactly how you go about getting it has fundamentally changed.
So the crucial point is that we need a totally new roadmap. Here is how we're going to build it today. First, we'll look at the death of gig work. 2, avoiding the AI scam trap. 3, 4 proven models that are actually working. 4, our golden rule, expertise first, AI second. And finally, number 5, a 30-day action plan to put all of this into motion.
Starting off with Part 1, the death of gig work. We're talking platform saturation and total margin collapse.
To really understand what's working in 2026, we first have to figure out why the classic 2019 set-your-own-hours gig model fell apart. And guys, this wasn't just a temporary dip, it was a structural collapse. Check out this number, 5.4 million. That is the sheer scale of active Uber drivers competing for rides right now. Just to put that into perspective, back in 2020, that number was 3.9 million. The supply of gig workers has just completely flooded the platform. So once you factor in the rising costs of fuel, maintenance, insurance, and the platform's cut, the margins are shrinking fast. After expenses, many are actually pulling in less than minimum wage on an hourly basis. The flexibility is still there, sure, but the profitability is gone.
And it's not just the ride-sharing apps getting crushed. Product platforms are facing the exact same bottleneck. Think about Etsy. They now host over 7.5 million active sellers. Remember that whole print-on-demand gold rush a few years ago where literally everyone and their mother was selling custom coffee mugs? Well, that's largely run its course. It is nearly impossible for new entrants to break through today without a hyper-unique niche, especially when you're competing against automated AI-generated designs that cost essentially nothing to pump out.
And freelance generalists? They are racing straight to the bottom right alongside them. There are 830,000 workers hanging out on Fiverr today. Think about it. Clients who used to easily drop $50 for a basic blog post are now just using AI to draft it themselves for free and maybe throwing $10 at someone to proofread it. Manual laborers in the gig space are trying to compete against an absolute army of competitors who are using free AI tools to aggressively undercut them.
So to sum up the death of the old model, it really comes down to 3 massive blows. First, overwhelming platform saturation. There are just way more workers than there is demand. Second, AI completely absorbed basic commodity tasks. If you're producing generic stuff that AI can just spit out independently for free 24/7, you just can't compete. And third, inflation severely squeezed the operating margins. Overhead went way up, meaning actual gig worker earnings have dropped 12% since 2021 when you adjust for inflation.
All right, moving to Part 2, avoiding the AI scam trap. We really need to separate the hype from the reality here.
Now that we know what's broken in the old system, we have to navigate the dark side of this new 2026 hustle economy. There is this booming, predatory ecosystem out there built entirely around passive AI income, mostly pushed by social media influencers. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact problem we're facing. We have all seen the scam promise scrolling through our feeds. Make $300 a day with zero effort or experience, right? But the brutal reality? The FTC just shut down over $55 million in fake AI income schemes. Seriously, if someone is promising you overnight wealth without bringing up timelines, actual skills, or market conditions, they are selling you a course. They aren't offering you a genuine opportunity.
So let's anchor our expectations in some honest, real-world data instead. Beginners realistically earn between $500 and $1,000 per month in their first 6 months. I know, that doesn't sound quite as flashy as $300 a day. But here is the secret. Building a reliable $500 to $1,000 a month creates meaningful, compounding stability over time. It funds your emergency account, it aggressively chips away at debt, it's real money, and more importantly, it actually scales.
Let's move on to part 3, 4 proven models. This is what's actually working in 2026.
It is officially time to shift from the problem to the solution. We've got 4 proven models right now that are successfully replacing the old gig economy. We have AI-augmented services, digital products, AI automation for small businesses, and specialized content. What makes these models absolutely incredible is that unlike traditional driving or delivery gigs, they scale without requiring a one-to-one time investment from you. Digital products like templates cost almost nothing to make once you have an audience. Specialized content acts as a giant funnel to sell your solutions. But honestly, the 2 models I am most excited about right now are AI-augmented services and AI automation.
Let's do a deep dive into the biggest opportunity on the board, AI-augmented skilled services. It's actually wild to see, but AI-related freelance work on platforms like Upwork grew 60% year over year. And specialists using AI? They are earning 40 to 60% more per hour than generalists. Why is that? Because you're taking a skill you already possess, maybe that's accounting, marketing, or graphic design, and you're simply using AI tools to deliver the final output faster, better, and cheaper than you ever could manually. You aren't competing with AI, you are using it to completely turbocharge your own expertise.
Then there's this absolute hidden gem, AI automation for small businesses. Look, small business owners are completely overwhelmed. They keep hearing they need AI, but they have absolutely zero idea how to actually implement it. If you can step in and bridge that gap, like setting up automated email flows or smart customer service bots, you can easily command an average of $2,000 to $5,000 a month in recurring retainers. And the best part? Literally no coding required. You can build these solutions using natural language and drag-and-drop no-code tools. It's a massive, massive opportunity.
Which brings us to part 4, expertise first, AI second. This is our golden rule.
This is the foundational thesis of our whole explainer today. AI-augmented skilled services is the practice of combining your genuine human domain expertise with AI tools. Now, what's really interesting here is that your existing expertise, that is the actual product. AI cannot replicate what it feels like to run a bustling restaurant for 15 years. It doesn't know what kind of direct response copywriting actually converts in your highly specific niche. Your domain knowledge, that is the moat that protects your income from getting outsourced.
Think of it like this. AI generates the options, but humans decide which option actually fits based on real-world constraints. The human element is absolutely not optional here. Sure, an AI can summarize a giant PDF or draft up a generic marketing plan, but it cannot replace the nuanced judgment that only comes from genuine professional experience. If your hustle is built purely on commodity output, it's going to die. But if it's built on your unique domain expertise, powered by AI, it's going to thrive.
Finally, let's look at part 5, the 30-day action plan. It's time to build your foundation.
Okay, we have the data, we've seen the models, and we understand the golden rule. Let's move to the execution phase and see how this builds into a practical, step-by-step playbook you can start using today. Step 1, audit your skills. Literally write down every tool and process you already know. Step 2, identify one specific problem in one specific market. Don't say, I do social media. Say, I manage Instagram for local restaurants using AI. Extreme specificity converts. Step 3, pick just one of our proven models and stick with it. Step 4, set realistic expectations. Target that initial $500 to $1,000 a month. And step 5, execute for 30 focused days. Pitch the clients, build a product, measure your results. Absolutely no side hustle hopping allowed.
Before we wrap up today, I really want to leave you with this final number, just to remind you of the massive scale of the opportunity we're talking about here. $674 billion, that is what the global gig economy is projected to hit by 2026. The side hustle economy didn't die, folks. It just completely evolved. There is immense money flowing through this ecosystem every single day. The window to build your first mover advantage is wide open right now, but it's definitely not going to stay open forever.
So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative question to chew on today. What expertise do you have that AI can accelerate? The tools are sitting right there waiting for you, the old saturated commodity models are dead, and the future really belongs to those who amplify their unique skills. Claim your advantage, start building your foundation today, and go carve out your piece of this new economy. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you on the next one.